up next, the inspirational story of a family business that defied the odds to become a 12 million cookie a day company. We'll meet the CEO of Joseph's Light Cookies when Studio 10 returns.
Welcome back. Well, when Joseph Semprevivo was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 9, he asked his parents, both restaurateurs, to create a cookie that he could eat. And they did just that, and also began to re-engineer his other favorite foods. And eventually, Joseph's Light Cookies was born, with Joseph at the helm as a teen entrepreneur. And Joseph recounts his amazing story in a book titled Madness, Miracles, and Millions. And he joins me today. Good to see you, Joseph.
Great to be here. Thank you, Deborah.
You know, this is a great story because it's, you know, one of those, the mother of invention. You know, the necessity is the mother of invention, which is what happened in your case. Tell us about exactly what happened as when you were a child.
I was diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 9. My parents had a restaurant. When we went to the emergency room, the doctor said your son will be dead by the age of 17. This was in 1980, so they did not know a lot about diabetes. So at that point, my parents did everything, keeping in mind we were dead broke. They filed bankruptcy, lost everything we had. So they wanted to make sure I was healthy and lived a normal, happy, healthy life. So they started training from day one. We started experimenting with certain foods that I could eat, and eventually, sugar-free cookies.
Well, and eventually, you now have the largest privately owned natural sugar-free cookie company in the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's an amazing success story. And your book, Madness, Miracles, and Millions, talks about how not only your family business thrived, but how other people can make their family business thrive. And you came up with some great tips, and I want to kind of share them with people and maybe have you explain them. First, you said create job titles for everyone in your family.
Absolutely. The biggest challenge often when you have a small business is it's usually employed by family members.
Sure.
So if you don't understand what your role is, then there's going to be a constant fight in your family.
Sure.
Even if you don't have any family members working there, you should always create job titles for each individual so they know their responsibilities.
Speaking of that, that's the second one, create work expectations, so they know what to expect out of you.
Exactly. So many times we hear the story that, oh yeah, I work for my brother or my sister. I don't need to go in 40 hours a week.
Right.
So when you have those expectations, you say work 40 hours a week. You're going to work from this time to this time. These are your days off, etc.
Very important. Create a paper trail, which you don't necessarily think because you think, oh, I can just tell them in person.
Exactly. When you're talking to an employee or a family member, anything that's really critical information, certain projects or expectations, anything like that, you put in writing. You send them an email, ask for a response back within a certain time period. So then 6 months, a year later, innocently you forget that conversation.
Sure.
You could refer to the email.
Next, set a clear set of goals for each title or department.
Absolutely. So people cannot execute with their expectations and certain performances required unless you define clearly what their goals are. So you want them to be an owner. You want that team member or family member to be an owner of these goals. So you sit down and say, okay, so you're working in the accounts payable department. We expect a collection rate of what do you think is a fair amount? Well, 75%. Okay, can we adjust that to maybe 85, 90% collection every week, our payments of every week to our vendors? And you make them own that goal.
Well, I could talk to you all day long because I know there's so much involved, but if you want to learn more, the name of the book is Madness, Miracles, and Millions, and it's available Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com.
Books A Million, yep.
Everywhere where major books are sold.
Exactly. We just won the Illumination Award. We just got notified the day before yesterday.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Joseph Semprevivo, it's so great meeting you.
Thank you, Deborah.
All right.